Welcome to the Last Mile Prophets Videocast, the last word on the last mile. Royal Mail is coming in for some stick, but what about the other parcel operators? How are they shaping up? Find out after this. Modern Expo provides an integral ecosystem of screen-operated lockers, screenless autonomous solutions, refrigerated lockers, and even personal parcel lockers, powered by an in-house developed software. It's quite well documented the challenges that Royal Mail are facing at the moment, but it seems they're not alone. Marek, what about some of the other carriers? How are they finding life in 2023?
Yeah, hello Peter, hello everyone. It does indeed seem that Royal Mail's getting, or should we say, it's the exclusive kid on the block that's being beaten up, and that's probably not fair. I haven't got the exact details, but there's been a lot of noise about Evri, forgetting about the fact that I'm not really sure that the name has done much and whether it was the right thing.
It doesn't seem to have fixed anything, does it? A rebrand by in the minds of the customer.
The only thing, Peter, and we don't know that, it could have been one of the conditions because Advent bought the company from Hermes, and it could have been that they had a certain amount of time during which they had to change the name. So, we don't know that. Name change or not, apparently they haven't performed particularly well over peak, and that's delicately speaking. The rumours were that even DPD, who typically is the sort of the best player around, has had some challenges. I don't know about Yodel, but I would imagine that there have been issues there. What would be actually quite interesting is if we could make this a little bit more interactive. What do you think, Peter? And if we ask the viewers maybe to give their own comments, if you work for Yodel or DPD, let us know how it's been, or if you're customers, because we can then actually sort of confirm. But the feeling, Peter, I've had is that no one's actually performed particularly well.
It's very hard to pick up a trend as to why that might be, because there doesn't seem any single cause or any single reason. I'd be very interested, as you say, for our viewers to tell us what their issue is and what they think the cause of that issue is. And it'd be nice to see if there's any consistency in any of those comments. So yes, please come to us, send us your thoughts, send us your experiences, and we'll help you analyse what we think could have gone wrong there.
I think that's a great idea, and I can kick off with a few ideas. Peaks are always difficult. Peaks in turbulent times are even more difficult. And if you look specifically at the UK, there are two elements of turbulence, as it were. One is the Ukraine war, which has dramatically affected raw material and fuel prices, which is, a huge element of last mile cost. It's also affected a lot of the labour because when I worked for a very large player in the UK, I seem to remember that about half of my team were Polish or Romanian. So if you take the war on one hand, and probably even more relevant here is the second impact, which is Brexit, a lot of those people probably back in Central Europe. Theoretically, you'd have this Ukrainian war impact and the impact on all the costs. You'd have Brexit impact. So it has been a difficult time. It's very hard to plan for that, Peter.
Yeah, I can imagine. And of course, the problem with peaks is that usually there is a hard and fast deadline. We're saying Christmas Day. People will be delighted if their presents arrive before Christmas. They'll be horrified if they don't arrive until afterwards. So there's no grey area there. You either deliver or you don't. And I hear there's horrendous stories of people getting their Christmas presents in the new year. It lingers on.
Peter, remember my story, and this wasn't in the UK, where in Poland, FedEx weren't even able to pick up my parcel.
Yeah.
So that's a completely new challenge if you're not even able to get your parcel picked up.
And that's one thing we can't blame on the exodus of Polish workers, that's for sure.
Absolutely. But I do want to add one thing, and I think this is important. The UK needs to do more with out of home, because one of the ways that you can dramatically improve capacity and first time delivery is to have more lockers and PUDOs. Whereas you can't knock the UK too much on PUDOs because you've got Collect Plus, you've got a large network with the post office, which is opening up. So it's no longer just available for Royal Mail, but actually it's happening now. It's beginning. Our friends at Quadient are doing an awful lot to develop lockers, as is Amazon. But I think that out of home is another big issue and opportunity.
Yes, and I'm seeing reports of record numbers of doorstep thefts, doorstep piracy, which sounds romantic, but it blooming well isn't. Certainly within the UK, and this is a surefire way to keep those numbers down or eliminate them altogether.
Absolutely. Alternatively, if you have good supporting tools, and coming back to the famous Commons Committee with the PDA is not necessarily just a bad thing. It can really help. And if you're able to make sure that you're at the customer's address at the right time, then there's more chance you'll actually find them at home. If they're not at home, but you've got good interactive delivery management, for those of you who haven't heard that term, Uber for parcels, then you're able to actually look at what your consignee, your receiver has asked. And it may be they say, look, please leave it with my neighbor 2 doors away. So, there's a lot that can be done to improve that situation. And I'm not sure that everyone's been doing as much as they could.
One day we'll reach a point where everything runs beautifully smoothly and we get everything when we expect it to. Let's hold fire on that subject for now. I think we've got a lot still to talk about in this amazing sector that we work in. So let's report back on another day and find out what else has been going on elsewhere. Thank you for watching the Last Mile Prophets video. For more free analysis of the last mile, please like, follow and subscribe below to ensure you are notified every time we upload new content.